Hercules is brave, courageous, strong. As a mirror reflects your face, so your heart reflects. He just keeps making mistake after mistake. Then we meet Phil. Begs for a road test, and Phil decides to take Herc to Thebes. We got part 2 for the rest of the breakdown. On the way to Thebes, they run into the first DID, damsel in distress. Now, it's good to train, and it's good to practice, but those mean nothing if they aren't challenged by the real world. For example, the first thing that Herc does is get angry and barge in there without a second thought. This is good because it shows his noble character, but it also allows him to be made a fool of when someone doesn't do something the way that he imagined in his head.
Keep moving, Junior.
Lady, but aren't you a damsel in distress?
He is, as my former EMT instructor would say, a sheepbot. But the reality is, unless you know what the real world is like, you're not going to know even a little bit whether your plans will work or not, or whether your training means anything. Eventually, after a little bit of work, he beats his first bad. Good for him. He first goes to his mentor, and Phil, of course, gives him the what for and tells him all the things that he could do to do better, but then gets drawn away by those
big goo-goo eyes. It's like I keep telling you. You gotta stay focused, and you...
We're then introduced to Meg, who Pegasus doesn't like, Phil doesn't like, and with just one look has Hercules in a spell of love.
She's something.
Come in, Herc. We got a job to do, remember?
Then, off to Thebes. Herc is told that he'll be just what the doctor ordered, and is met with...
Yeah? And who are you?
Hercules is approached by Meg, and Meg tells him that there are some boys who are trapped by a rock slide. And of course, Herc, being the helper that he is overjoyed.
Kids? Trapped? Phil, this is great!
So I can actually relate to this in a little bit of a way. EMTs, we want to help people, right? And we get excited when we get calls that are like, oh man, a guy got shot, or there's a guy having a heart attack, or whatever. Because for us to be able to help people, that means that problems have to happen. So we're not necessarily excited for the problem that's happening, but we're excited that we get to be there with somebody as they're going through this problem that is horrendous. So we can't help people unless there are problems to be had. We don't want problems to be had, but we like that there's a situation where we can help somebody. So I get it, but you know, whatever. It's kind of a side thing, whatever. Herc arrives on scene, helps the kiddos, and is met with, we'll say indifference, but gets faced with something even worse. Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. Hail Hydra!
Not that Hydra. We're not quite there yet. So after running away and a little bit of work, Herc gets swallowed up by the monster and he slices it from the inside. Zonked from battle, Herc and the gang start to make their way back home when suddenly...
That doesn't sound good.
He calls on Pegasus to help him, but is quickly overwhelmed with Hydras. He's separated from Pegasus, and Herc is now faced with certain death. But instead of giving up, he finds a way to beat the Hydras, quickly sacrificing himself in the process. And then, yeah, Herc is down for the count. Okay, he, all hope is lost. Okay, guys, let's cut it. Okay, I can't do it anymore. Just cut it. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Just kidding. He made it. He did it. Herc beats the monster and is celebrated. Everyone loves him, and even gets a cool montage of all the cool things that he's done.
Bless my soul.
Also, here's an important storytelling part here. Showing versus telling is almost always the better option. We get these flashes of all the stuff that he's done, but that is infinitely better than someone just telling us.
You don't remember anything?
I see flashes. If I could just piece together what happened that morning.
You woke me up banging on my door at dawn. Your usual move. Back then, we had to get up so early. You wanted to race to base. When I got to the hangar, Lawson was agitated. She said she had lives to save. She was trying to take the aces up herself, but you said
If there were lives at stake, I would fly the plane.
Yeah. Yep. Big hero moment.
Wait, what? We ain't never seen that, though. Alright, whatever, back to our guy Herc. He tells his pa all the things that Phil has taught him, and tells him that he's now ready to join him in Olympus. Unfortunately, he's told that he still isn't a true hero. Then the fragility of Herc's identity comes to his defense. I mean, he's beaten every single monster he's come up against. He's the most famous person in all of Greece. He's
an action figure.
Then Zeus speaks some wise words and says,
I'm afraid being famous isn't the same as being a true hero.
let me just, let me show that again.
I'm afraid being famous isn't the same as being a true hero.
I'm just saying. Herc asks what he can do, but is met with looking inside of his heart and discovering it for himself. I mean, he gets angry because even after all this time, he's still not a hero. And he's still not good enough to be accepted. He even raises his voice to Phil and asks him what the point of any of this is, if it's not getting him anywhere. He's given it everything he's got. And after a few comforting words from his mentor, Herc gets back on his feet. Well, I mean, sort of. Okay, let me get some water. 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 You know, my smoking hot fiance put water in the fridge and then put that water in here, and it's so good. Herc is again approached by Meg and is basically seduced into ditching training with Phil to go spend the night with her. Nice.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Herc's having a good time, been laughing, and bro, that Riz, bro.
Have any problems with things like this?
No, not really.
Ruptured discs.
No.
With that respect, baby, let's go, dude, let's go! Then we get a good glimpse into his character. He says,
When I was a kid, I would have given anything to be exactly like everybody else.
but instead has given up everything to be nothing like anyone else. He's about to,
Stop this, before we...
when he's finally found by Phil and is whisked away for some heavy-duty training as punishment. But he doesn't care because he's in love.
Hey, watch it, watch it. Keep your goo-goo eyes on it.
He's elated. He's not even feeling the training. He is love drunk. He's then told by Phil, his mentor through everything, that Meg is a fraud.
She's a fraud!
He argues with Phil and tells him that he loves her, hoping for him to back off, using his status as hero to force Phil to stop. But Phil tells him that she don't love him and goes on to tell Herc just how bad she is. So defensive and so close-handed with his relationship. Herc,
Shut up!
yeah, you tasting that flaw pie, huh? You tasting that flaw roast beast? Huh? You tasting that flaw like carrot, a vegetable, or you tasting that flaw, bag of chips? Huh? It's so good. It makes my mouth water. That flaw. Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Phil is so taken aback that Herc won't face the truth. He opts to leave for home. Hercules, with a big old head as any, says that he can do it on his own. He, who without Phil wouldn't even be here, says that he no longer needs him and throws him away. In weakness, he's approached by Hades, and of course he wants nothing to do with him. Until of course he shows that he's got Meg, the one he loves, captive.
Meg!
Don't listen to her.
Herc tries to fight Hades, but it's no use. And Hades offers that if he throws away his strength for 24 hours, he'll release Meg. He recognizes that people will get hurt, but he makes Hades swear that Meg won't get hurt.
People are gonna get hurt, aren't they? You've gotta swear she'll be safe from any harm.
And Hades says sure thing, otherwise he gets his strength back. They shake on it and Herc becomes the most mortal he's ever been. He's
Just like everybody else. Isn't it just peachy?
Herc is then told that Meg was with Hades the whole time. Herc is devastated. He's crushed. Again, he offers himself up to help others and gets punished for it. And by the one he loves, no less. Hercules, now mortal, is faced with a newly released Titan and even still goes to help, even though he'll most certainly be killed. Meg tries to tell him this, but he hits her with,
Without your strength, you'll be killed.
There are worse things.
bro, let's go, King. Let's go, King. Let's go, dude. Man, you stay dropping out. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you don't need her. You don't need her. I mean, what you good for, huh? You don't need her, dog. You don't even need her, bro. Like, listen. Bro, you're the king, baby. You're the king. You're the king. My man gets smoked. But his deep depression doesn't allow him to feel anything. And who came to cheer him up? His mentor, Phil.
Come on, kid. Come on. Fight back. Come on, you can take this bum. This guy's a pushover. Look at him.
Dreams are for rookies.
No, kid. Giving up is for rookies. I came back because I'm not quitting on you. I'm willing to go the distance. How about you?
Reinvigorated, Herc fights back and gets a leg up on the Titan. Just as the Titan falls, it shakes a pillar, which looks like it's gonna fall directly on our now mortal Hercules. Herc is pushed out of the way by Meg, and she is crushed by the pillar.
Meg! No!
With the contract now broken, Herc regains his strength, but not without a cost. Leaping onto Pegasus, our boy Herc goes to fight Hades and the Titans, and he smokes them. He frees the other gods, he dodges all the lava and ice, he frees his father Zeus, and defeats the Titans in a masterful spectacle of strength, thought, and heart. He celebrates, thinking that all is done, but is told by Hades that Hades still has a consolation prize.
Meg!
He races to try and save her, but it's too late. Meg, his first love, is dead.
Meg!
You know, when I was a kid, I never actually understood that Meg died. In my head, I thought that she was just like tired or really sick or something. I think it's because I was so young, I couldn't really maybe wrap my mind around what death even was. But what I did know is that Meg was hurt, and our boy Herc was mad. Our main man Herc gets into the underworld, tames Cerberus, and tries to force Hades to give up Meg.
Let her go.
He's shown by Hades exactly where all the souls of the underworld go, but in his naivety, he tries to just grab Meg out of the water and...
No, mustn't touch.
Ugh. Yikes, dude. Yikes. Herc strikes a deal with Hades for him to be taken in Meg's place. Hades, of course, agrees, and Herc plunges himself into the pool of souls, again putting others before himself.
That's not a problem, is it?
He's dead. Okay, listen, just cut it. Okay, just cut it, guys. I can't do this. Just cut it. Sorry.
What's the matter with you, scissors? The thread won't cut.
Let's go, dude! Let's go! Let's go!
This is impossible.
Woo!
You can't be alive. You'd have to be a god.
Yes! He gives Hades one last punch, shoving him into the pool of souls.
Get away from me. Don't touch me.
He gives Meg her soul back and is whisked away to Olympus, given the hero's welcome he's always wanted, right where he belongs. For a true hero isn't measured by the size of his strength,
but by the strength of his heart.
So good, dude. It's so good. It's so good.
Father, this is the moment I've always dreamed of.
Wait, what?
But a life without Meg, even an immortal life, would be empty.
You know, okay, for as long as I've seen this movie, I've always thought he's made the wrong choice here. I was actually telling my smoking hot fiance this, and she said, "Wouldn't you give that up for me?" And I looked at her and I thought, I would be honored to give that up for you. Maybe I just don't like that they're not married or whatever. But I mean, he did literally give his life for hers, and she also gave her life for his. So, okay. I guess it's not that bad. I mean, Meg's got a good heart, and she's self-sacrificing, which is exactly the type of girl who's perfect for our boy Herc. So, we good. Herc chooses to spend a mortal life on Earth, and after a long and perilous journey, has finally found where he belongs. He gets an image of himself in the stars, and Phil gets the thanks that he deserves. man. Oh man. Oh, that always gets me. And that's it. That's a full-blown story about how our main man Herc went from freak to hero. That is good character writing. There's an investment that gets joyfully paid off. There's good development with how he went from self-doubt to self-acceptance. His flaws, there's inspirations. And we get to see and believe how one man went from this to this. The cool part is, what did Hercules do that we can't do? He was strong, sure, but that strength didn't mean anything and actually was a burden. It was his strength of character that set him apart. So that's the thing, he worked on that. I mean, just because something's hard doesn't mean that it's bad. And he didn't start out perfect. How great is that? Growth of character can be scary, but when you're not alone, it makes it way easier. It's an investment that is worth the cost. Okay, do you think it would be better to be perceived as good but inwardly be disgusting? Or to be humbled by who you really are and live your life in a way to become the person you were created to be? Every creation of man ever started as a thought, but with discipline and self-control has turned into something. Is who you were created to be a thought? Do you think it could be a reality? Let me ask you something. Why can't we be like Hercules? Why can't you be called to something bigger than yourself? Why can't you grow? Why can't you learn? Why can't you sacrifice? I'm here to tell you that you can do all of those things. So go away. Be like Hercules.